Atheist Alliance International Podcast.
I don't make this stuff up.
You know, if you put Jesus Christ first, that he'll look after all your bills.
It's not fake, it's faith.
Hello, and welcome to the latest episode of the Atheist Alliance International Podcast. I'm your host, Jason Sylvester. Just before we get started, I'd like to remind everyone to please like and subscribe. And today we're joined by two of our affiliates from Atheism UK, the President John Richards and Andy Phillips, who used to be the host of the AAI podcast and has gotten too busy and handed the reins off to me. So, John and Andy, welcome.
Well, thank you for having us.
Yeah, my pleasure. So you guys have got an event coming up, Changing Minds and Changing Times. So you're here to talk to us about that. So John, Andy, who'd like to go first?
Well, I'll do a quick intro onto this. We've got the event coming up in June the 4th, which is going to be held at the Tabernacle, Notting Hill. This is Changing Mind and Changing Times 23. We've got some really good guests. I'm going to hand this over to John because John is the one who's actually done all the work on putting all this together. He's done an absolutely sterling job. So I'll let John just introduce you to some of the guests that we've got coming on, which are pretty cool, actually.
Yeah, sure. Andy is he's the guy that does the website or channel content. So he mustn't make himself sound unimportant on this. But CMiCT 23, it's an innovation that AAI UK has not actually attempted before. And what we're doing is an afternoon into the evening event featuring Lawrence Krauss and Richard Dawkins, Lawrence will be speaking, first of all, from his position of physicist, cosmologist, well-known author of works about this subject area. And he is going to headline on his latest work, his latest book, which is about the frontiers of science and how we are investigating to solve the mysteries that we're currently up against. So that's the changing times aspect of it. And we have other speakers. There is Sophie Scott, as you can see in a little picture there, who is at the cutting edge of neuroscience. She's a very good speaker. I don't know whether you've seen her latest speech for the Royal Society, which is well worth watching, because she's a bit of a comedian as well. So she's going to bring us up to date on the way neuroscience is changing our understanding of the brain, because we now have a number of ways to investigate non-intrusively actual working live brains. So we've not had that before. So this is a great breakthrough. Then we've got Blay Whitby, who is a professor recently retired from Sussex University, and he's a guest professor at other universities. But his favorite subject area is ethics. And of course, we're going to have to face all sorts of dilemmas to react, to respond to the changing world that we live in. So he's going to give us some guidance in the difficulties that we're going to have to come to terms with and the possibilities that we may have to embark upon to cope with them. Then we have Keith Porteous-Wood, who is a president and former chief executive of the National Secular Society. And he recognizes, the National Secular Society recognizes that our constitution, our governing system is out of date. It has roots as far back as Henry VIII, of course. So it's not best placed to deal with the cultural changes that are coming our way. So he's going to talk to us about that. Then Richard Dawkins will be interviewed by Lawrence Krauss. And in fact, I will be presenting him with a little trophy, a little award for the work that he's done over a lifetime to promote the concept of public understanding of science and atheism. So that's a sort of a highlight. But we'll end the evening with a meal. Now, I've not been promoting this because I haven't finished organizing it yet. I'm going to get a pop-up restaurant to feed all our guests and celebs and helpers. And anybody who wants to buy into that and hobnob with us at the end of the stage events is welcome to do so.
Interesting. So you were saying Sophie is a neurologist. So there's a field came to light around the mid-2000s called neurotheology. Do you know if she's into that as well? Like they do imaging scans of people's brains while they're like Christians are thinking about God, when Buddhists are thinking about God, when atheists are thinking about God. It'd be interesting if she speaks on that. So,
I'll not be able to answer that question immediately, but I suggest we ask her, because each speaker will have a chance to do Q&A. So you will be able to, attendees will be able to ask questions like that at the event. I do know that there are various hats that you can put on people's heads that are completely non-invasive, and you can study what they're thinking while they're thinking it. And it's not just hats, of course, which are suitable to use on babies. They are so harmless. It's fMRI scanners and so on. So yes, this is such an interesting area. We're going to discover a lot about how the brain works in the next few years.
Yeah. Well, I actually, on John's recommendation, I watched some of Sophie Scott's talks yesterday. She does things on TED and things like that. And she is an incredible speaker, and it'd be worth going literally just for her. But as you can see, I mean, we've got people like Lawrence Krauss and Richard Dawkins, and Keith from the NSS as well, which is really quite good. And a lot of this stuff has happened over. We haven't had a lot of time to do things over lockdown and things like that. So this is the first time we've actually been able to put something on of meaning. And it's gone really, really well. We've sold quite a lot of tickets so far. We're nearly getting to a point where we know we're going to sell out of this. And again, John's really sort of pushed this quite a lot. But we've got a lot of tickets sold now, so we're really, really excited about this. But it's going to be held at the Tabernacle in London, which is a lovely little venue, isn't it, John?
It is, yes. Built in, I think, 1844 as a church. But of course, since then, it's been redeployed for a much more useful purpose.
Indeed.
So yeah, beautiful venue, lovely venue.
And is the venue, the tickets you're selling, is that to max out the venue, or you'll have some, if you sell out the allotted tickets, will you have some additional space if there's more demand?
Nope. No, there is a limit to the, as is the case with all of these internal events, there's a maximum number that we can accommodate for health and safety purposes.
Okay.
And we're nearly there. So the message is buy tickets soon.
Yeah, I mean, if you're in the UK, then, and you know this is your sort of bag, then it's probably a good idea if you fancy coming along, then to probably get a ticket as soon as you can, because it looks like we are going to be selling out pretty fast. I mean, the tickets have only been on sale for what, about a week and a half, something like that. And so yeah, so we're selling out pretty fast. But it's sponsored by both Atheism UK and Lawrence's Origins Project.
Yes.
So you know, there's a lot of people sort of, you know, people are promoting it quite freely. All the speakers are obviously promoting it as well. So, and then obviously they've got pretty good connections. So yeah, it just really sort of, if you do fancy coming along to this, and it seems like your bag in the UK, then definitely see if you can get your tickets pretty quickly. But we've also got people coming from abroad as well, haven't we, John? Yeah.
At the moment, the furthest traveller comes from New York. That's some achievement, isn't it, to come this way to that event? Yeah.
Well, some interesting topics. So I would imagine with the coronation last weekend and the lots of talk of God and the anointing oils, imagine Keith will be talking about that with the, as you said, the changing demographics in the UK. I would think that would be an issue.
Indeed, yes. Well, our governing system is creaking at the corners, I'm afraid. It's completely unsuited for the modern demographic. We are a country which is majority non-believers, and yet we have 26 bishops in the House of Lords of right. You know, we don't elect them. They're just there because of Henry VIII.
Yeah, I think over time, and maybe, I don't know whether it be in our lifetimes, but I think over the next sort of 50 years, I think the way the UK is seen will be a lot different. I think the demographic will be a lot different. I think the actual mental approach to the way we run country is going to be a lot different. And there's also, I mean, with things like AI and all the rest of the things that are coming in. I mean, this is changing times, and it's quite exciting to be involved in this part of it. But I think things will change dramatically over the next 50 years, and I think a lot of these speakers have got their finger on the button. Especially people like Blay and those sort of people that do sort of understand this whole AI side of it, because I think AI is going to change a lot of things. But I think a lot of just the approach that people take will move significantly over the next 50 years. So this is an event which I think is going to sort of ask a lot of questions about where we're going into the future.
Blay actually wrote a book about AI as long ago as 1988.
Yeah.
Well, it should be an interesting conference. So you've got just a handful of tickets left, as I understand. You've already sold more than half, as Andy mentioned to me previously.
Oh, well,
is that correct?
Way more than half.
More than half.
While we've been talking, we've probably sold another couple.
Okay, so buy now before they're all gone.
Yeah, I think it sort of has surprised us, the sort of take up on this, because I think when John put this together, I think, because we're only a small organisation in the UK, and I think we sort of thought, okay, well, let's see if we can break even. At least if we can break even, because it costs a lot of money to put this sort of thing on, and get all these speakers in and stuff like that. And I think we've been surprised ourselves by the sort of take up, and believe me, it's been it's great to have that that sort of take up, and I think it sort of shows that people are really interested in the sort of things that we're doing, the sort of things that the speakers are talking about as well, because this concept of changing minds in changing times I think is more relevant now than it's ever been. And so I think there's a lot of people sort of want to come along to just find out about what these great speakers are talking about, and they are some really, really good speakers. We've got some very good names on here, and some and even if you don't know some of them, look them up and have a look at what they're doing at the moment. And I think you really, really enjoy the whole evening. It's going to be fantastic.
Okay. Well, we'll do what we can at AAI to promote you. AUK is one of our affiliates, so we'll do everything we can to help you guys sell out. Yeah,
well, we'll put the obviously the link underneath the video on YouTube, and also if you're putting this out on the podcast platforms as well, we can put the link into that as well, so people can go to that and grab their ticket while they're still going, they're still around. So brilliant. Sure. Thanks very much, Jason, for that. It's been really good to come back and talk to you guys.
Thank you, Jason.
You're very welcome. Yes. So as Andy mentioned, the link will be in the description. So if you want to go, please check it out. Okay. Anything else, guys, or you've covered all the topics you wanted to? Okay.
Yeah, that's great. Fantastic. Thanks for letting us push this out to a wider audience, mate.
Yeah, no problem. So I'd like to thank John and Andy again from Atheism UK for joining us. And again, please check it out. Even if you can't make the conference, you can always join Atheism UK and be a participant there in England. So thank you guys for coming on. Oh, go ahead.
In fact, we will be videoing the conference, and it will be posted, uploaded in dribs and drabs, little clips of it to, first of all, our members. They will get the first glimpse of it, and then subsequently we'll make it public.
Great. Yeah, I meant to ask earlier, and then I slipped my mind. I was going to ask if you guys are going to be recording it so that people can see it after the fact. So, okay, that's good to know. I look for those links so I can see it myself.
Excellent. Thanks, Jason.
Okay, you're welcome. Thank you, guys. Okay, so as usual, I'd like to remind everyone to please like and subscribe, and we'll see everybody on the next episode. Take care. Bye-bye.
See you later.
Bye-bye.
Okay, thanks for listening, and don't forget we're on YouTube, so follow us on YouTube. Just search for Atheist Alliance International and please subscribe and hit that notification bell. We're also on all of your favourite podcast platforms, so make sure that you follow us on there as well. See you next time.